Okay, here's another homework help video for assignment 1 and assignment 2, and this is for week 5. So linear and nonlinear scatter plots is the first part of it, and literally what you are looking for is in the word linear. So you're looking for a straight line. So if you can, even if the dots are kind of scattered like on number 2, if you could draw a straight line through them, it doesn't matter if it looks like this or if it looks like this. If you could draw a straight line, not like this, that's not straight, not like this, not straight. If you could draw a straight line like one of these top 2, then it's linear, okay? Like on number 3, I could not draw one straight line through it, okay? That's not a straight line. So, but there is an association. The word association is kind of like trend. So it could be positive, it could be negative, it could be positive and then negative. If there's a clear trend happening, that's okay. But this says that there's no association, which isn't true because it goes up and then it goes down. So on number 3, it would be nonlinear. Number 4, same thing as number 3. Number 5, when there's dots everywhere, think about it. There's no lines. There's no association. Okay, on number 5, yeah, there's no line, there's no association at all. Number 6, same thing. Number 7, remember if there's dots everywhere, there's no pattern, no lines. Association, same thing as like trend, pattern. Great. Okay, then on number 10, the Pythagorean theorem. Remember from last time when we had to label all the sides. So we'll say that this is A, B, and C. Okay, so since we know C, we're going to have to use the subtracting formula. So we would take the C squared minus the side length squared that we know. So in this case, it's A minus A squared equals B squared. Okay, so then fill in your numbers for the letters that you have. And then your last step is always going to be to find the square root, and that'll give you B. On number 11, we have A, we have B, but we don't have C, so we get to just add, and that's the easiest way to do it. B squared equals C squared. So you get to just add these two together, plug 15 in for A, 8 for B, so 15 squared plus 8 squared equals C squared. And remember, your last step is going to be to find the square root. Same thing on number 12. We know C, and we'll say we know A, I don't know, and we'll say that that's B. So we have to subtract because we know C, so we're going to subtract, that's our biggest side, minus the side that we do know, which is A, and that equals B squared. And your last step again, find the square root to get B. On the following equation, negative 8m, wow, that was weird, negative 8m minus 25 equals negative 2m minus 7. I made a video for week 4 over this stuff, but what I would do is I would rewrite it, obviously, and then box your numbers with variables, regular numbers, but make sure you include the sign that's in front. So negative 8m, negative 25 or minus 25, negative 2m, minus 7. So I think the easiest thing to start with would be to add 8m and combine it with that negative 2. So then you end up with a positive m. That cancels out. Bring everything else down. Negative 2 plus 8 is positive 6m minus 7. And then go from there like you would solve a regular 2-step equation. Oh. Same thing. This one's nice because it has all positive numbers, but box in your numbers with the sign in front. And same thing on number 15. Box them in. Split it at the equal sign. What you do to one side, do to the other side. You have to keep it balanced. Okay, this is assignment 2 on week 5, scatter plots and trend predictions. I know how Coach Elkins taught this. I'm not 100% sure how Mr. Brooks taught it, but I'm sure it's pretty darn similar. But we're going to go through and we're going to try each answer choice. Based on the scatter plot, approximate the heart rate at 40 breaths per minute. So on our breaths per minute, that's our x-axis, and I'm going to find 40. So at 40 breaths per minute, and we're going to try each one of these out. So A is at 168, and we want to see if it falls along that line that they gave us. So 168 would be just shy of 170, so like right, it's hard for me to make dots on this thing. Maybe like right here, making it kind of big. Okay, so that's A, that's pretty close. B, 174, that's going to be a little bit above 170. If this is 180, we'll say it's like right here, which is even better than A because it's actually on that line. And then I'm going to try C just to double check. And that's at 182, so a little bit above this middle line. And then D is at 189, so basically 190. Okay, so the one that falls along that line the closest looks like it would be B. And that's how we want to do the rest of these two. Based on the scatter plot, approximate the years since 1900 at a population of 55. So a population of 55. So we are going to be looking at 55, which would be, here's 50, so 55 would be about right here. Okay, and we want to do the same thing. We want to try these out. A is at 45, and we want to line it up with where it says it's right here. Okay. And 52 would be about right here, and so I'm going to go all the way up until I match 55. So that would be 52, let's see, about right here. Pretty close. 57, almost at 60. So we'll say right here and on that line. And then 62, 62 right here, and we want to go all the way up till we meet that line. That one's kind of close, but I would pick the one that looks the closest to that trend line. Number 3, the same thing at 107 minutes, so look for 107 minutes. So there's 30 between each number, so that would mean each notch is about 15 more minutes. So 107 would be about right here, because the notch would be 105. Number 4, based on the scatter plot, approximate the x if the y is at 40. So we want to see where our x value would be if the y is here at 40. So our answer choices are A, 3.75. Let's see. So here's 3. So 3.75 is a little bit past halfway to 4. So doop. I'm going to track all the way up until I get to 40, and my dot would be about right there. 4.25, so about right here, a little bit closer to 4. Track that all the way up to 40. And then 4.75, so closer to 5. And all the way up to 40. Man, these are crazy close. And then 5.25, so about right here. All the way up to 40. So that one's a little bit lower. So again, pick the closest. If you need extra help, let me know, because these are very close and I probably need to check the answer key so I know. Number 5, same thing, approximately 18 days. You're looking for the balance. 18 days is about right here, because halfway would be 15. So use that line for 18 to make your way up and check each answer choice and see which one fits the best. Number 6, based on the scatter plot, approximate the y if the x is at 4. Remember, this is our x, and we're here. So see about where, if there was a line drawn in the middle, I hate to draw a line because I'm never very good at it, but that's not terrible. So based off of that line, try your answer choices and see which would fall closest onto that line. Number 7, same thing. If the x, find the value of x. Okay, this is the opposite. Find the value of x if the y is at 8. So if we're here, we want to figure out which x value would fall into this line. Number 8, again, based on the scatter plot, approximate the sales if the temperature is 21 degrees Celsius. 21 degrees Celsius is here, which would fall into about this area. Try them all out. Try 420, 495, 325, and 390. Number 9, approximate the dollars if x is at 60. So here's our x. Which of those dollar amounts would line up if there was to be a line drawn? My lines are so terrible. Number 10, same thing. The numbers of items sold at $110. $110 is about right here. Which scatter plot does not suggest a linear relationship? So basically not a line. The points on the number line represent the values of 4 different numbers. Which point best represents the value of the square root of 3? And you can use your iPhone calculator if you turn it sideways, and you can find the square root of 3. But there's some you could eliminate pretty easily. Based on the scatter plot, which is the best prediction of the total number of pages in a book with 4 chapters? So 4 chapters. If there was to be a line drawn through those, it's all terrible. If there was a line to be drawn, which of these page numbers would fall into that line? Okay, and then some multi-step equations again. Same thing, you've got 12x minus 10. Remember to box it in with the signs in front as best you can. And I always like to combine the variables first, just so you're only looking at one letter, because that can be confusing. So I'm going to subtract 4x since it's positive. There's no sign, so that tells me it's positive, and I have to combine it with the other x on the other side of the equal sign. That gives me 8x, and then I'm going to bring down everything else just the way it looks in the box. And then from there, I'm going to box everything in again. Okay. Number 15. Box it in. They give us a y instead of an x this time. Not to worry, do the same things as if it were a regular variable that you're used to seeing an x. Okay, let me know if you have any other questions or if I need to go back over some of these graphs, which are a little bit harder to see.